As a reminder, Substitute House Bill 1399 concerns sheriffs, police chiefs, marshals, and police matrons. There are two amendments. I will brief the first amendment listed in the EBB, Lang 089, offered by Representative Macri, makes three changes. First, it provides that any law enforcement agency or executive may not provide authority to volunteers or specially commissioned officers to enforce criminal laws, rather than providing that the agency or executive may not permit volunteers or specially commissioned officers to engage in functions or actions requiring the use of law enforcement authority. Second, it enumerates additional roles for which a law enforcement agency or executive may utilize volunteers or specially commissioned officers, including but not limited to technical and administrative support, bicycle recovery, community crime prevention coordination, vehicle maintenance, helping with search and rescue, serving as faith leaders, helping with parking enforcement and traffic management, assisting with parks and recreation, animal control and caring for domestic animals, and other public safety related community service and outreach work. And third, the amendment restores the chapter relating to police matrons.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Sydney Jeffrey, staff to this committee. Lang 089 has indeterminate costs, as the required changes will still vary across local jurisdictions based on individual entities' current operations, and there are no fiscal impacts related to the reinstatement of this section on police matrons.
Thank you. And then we have null and void amendment as well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the last amendment, Jeffrey 009, is a standard null and void clause.
Thank you. Questions for Ms. Langer or Ms. Jeffrey? Thank you. 1399, Representative Gregerson.
Thank you. I move that substitute House Bill 1399 be reported out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
It has been moved and seconded that substitute House Bill 1399 be reported out of committee due pass. There are amendments. Representative Macri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move adoption of Amendment Langer 089.
It has been moved and seconded the Amendment Langer 089 be adopted. Discussion. Representative Macri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This amendment responds to some questions and concerns we heard. First of all, from our cities and local jurisdictions about the range of activities that volunteers could participate in. So we expand and enumerate some of those activities. Secondly, it restores language related to police matrons. This is old language in the statute, but there seemed to be some concerns from the public, so we returned it back to the code, asking for the committee's support.
Thank you, Representative Macri. Additional discussion, Representative Burnett.
Thank you, Chair Ormsby. Obviously, not shocking that the committee might find that I want to talk on this one, but a couple things I want to address here is I want to talk about the constitutionality of this, and I promise not to go Walsh on you, but should bring to your attention we are specifically speaking to the position of an elected official. And I don't know of any other position that we would say that this would adhere to and should be applied to, so I'm not sure why we would go after one specific position as an elected sheriff. The recall system already does exist and is shown to be effective in Washington State. I would really like to speak to the point that local law enforcement does not enforce federal law, but rather they provide public safety support when requested upon. That had been a big topic and issue during the testimony.
We need Elliot.
And I think I got confused on something here.
Representative Burnett, we're on the amendment.
Maybe I can just say, yes, we agree to the amendment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is there any additional discussion? Will all members wishing to adopt the amendment Langer 089 please signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. The amendment is adopted. There are additional amendments. Vice Chair Gregerson.
Thank you. I move Jeff's 009.
It has been moved and seconded that the amendment Jeffrey 009 be adopted. Standard null and void amendment. Will all members wishing to adopt the amendment please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The amendment is adopted. Vice Chair Gregerson.
Thank you. I move that the adopted amendments be incorporated into Second Substitute House Bill 1399, and that Second Substitute House Bill 1399 be reported out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
It's been moved and seconded that Second Substitute House Bill 1399 be reported out of committee, due pass. Discussion. Representative Macri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, asking for the committee's support to move this important bill. Currently, our law enforcement leaders, our chiefs and elected sheriffs or appointed sheriffs, are not required to be held to the same standards in terms of eligibility, training, and certification as the officers who report to them and work for them. And this bill requires that. It builds public trust, both in law enforcement and in government in general, and ensures consistency across the state. The bill also makes some clarifications about the use of volunteers in the law enforcement context. Again, important to build trust. So we ensure that those officers, particularly those who are armed and acting on behalf of our law enforcement agencies, it's clear to the public who is an officer and who is a volunteer. So, as I said, an important bill to build trust and public safety, and asking for the committee support. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Macri. Additional discussion. Representative Burnett.
Let's try this again. Thank you, Chair Ormsby. Obviously, in my excitement to speak on this, I actually do understand the intent a part of this and the importance of having good quality, integrable leadership, leading local law enforcement around not just the state of Washington, but around the country. I, for one, who stood soundly for that, and even supported a recall system when we saw people stepping out of line that we did not believe supported that in the good interest of leadership and such. But obviously, as I spoke earlier on the constitutionality of this, I just want to recall that and talk about that again. We do have a system that is in place for that mismanagement, not just for that, but if you have somebody that's stepping out of line is in the criminal, actually breaking a criminal law, they would be under investigation, obviously, and would be held accountable. But when we talk about, let me look here. When we heard the testimony of different persons, when they were talking about wanting to have local law enforcement enforce federal law, and then we turned right around and we heard another group testify that they did not want to, or one group opposed it and one supported it. Again, local law enforcement does not enforce federal law, but they would likely support public safety if you had an agency that was coming inside your jurisdiction and had relayed that information and coordinated that and corroborate such. Backgrounds are good and they should be done. This should be held specifically to the position of an appointed position, because that of a chief or that of appointments by the elected sheriff themselves, and that is a system that we have in place and it is being done. And if there are counties or cities that are not doing that, they would be out of compliance. And actually, as they send them to the Criminal Justice Training Commission for basic law enforcement certification, whether that's through the lateral process or through an entry-level process, all of that verification has to be done through the Criminal Justice Training Commission. It's a very strict regiment process that have to check all the boxes, cross the T's and dot the I's. So I'll wrap this up in just saying that obviously I'm really concerned that this would certainly be challenged and will likely be overturned, and obviously requesting a no vote. But I would say this: I think there are some things that we could do working together in the future to support the integrity of law enforcement and leadership that would promote in a very, very positive way moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Burnett. Are there any additional comments? Representative Couture.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Here I and we sit, elected representatives of the House. No one took our background checks. The people elected us. Sometimes some of us are more or less qualified than our constituents in some cases. For example, I'm not a doctor, so I don't walk into the hospital and claim I have authority. but it is hubris to expect that the position of sheriff, which is an elected position, chosen by the people in their counties, that a small group of politicians who have not even been held to that same standard, that all of a sudden they are smarter than the people in their counties. Please vote no.
Thank you, Representative Couture. Are there any additional comments? Ms. McCollum, will you please call the roll?
Representative Ormsby.
Ormsby, aye.
Ormsby votes aye. Representative Gregerson.
Aye.
Gregerson votes aye. Representative Macri.
Aye.
Representative Macri votes aye. Representative Couture.
Do not pass.
Couture votes do not pass. Representative Connors.
Do not pass.
Representative Connor votes do not pass. Representative Penner.
Do not pass.
Representative Penner votes do not pass. Representative Schmick.
No, do not pass.
Representative Schmick votes no, do not pass. Representative Berg. Representative Berg votes aye. Representative Bergquist.
Representative Berquist votes aye.
Bergquist votes aye. Representative Burnett. Burnett votes no, do not pass. Representative Caldier.
Nay, do not pass.
Representative Caldier votes nay, do not pass. Representative Callen. Representative Callen votes aye. Representative Corey.
Do not pass.
Representative Corey votes no, do not pass. Representative Cortez. Cortez votes aye. Representative Dolio.
Aye.
Representative Dolio votes aye. Representative Dye.
Do not pass.
Representative Dye votes do not pass. Representative Fitzgibbon.
Aye.
Representative Fitzgibbon votes aye. Representative Keaton.
Keaton votes nay, do not pass.
Representative Keaton votes nay, do not pass. Representative Levitt.
Representative Levitt votes aye.
Representative Levitt votes aye. Representative Lekanoff.
votes aye.
Representative Lekanoff votes aye. Representative Mangeras.
No, do not pass.
Mangeras votes no, do not pass. Representative Marshall.
No, do not pass.
Representative Marshall votes no, do not pass. Representative Peterson. Representative Peterson votes aye. Representative Paulette.
Paulette, aye.
Representative Paulette votes aye. Representative Rude. Representative Rude votes do not pass. Representative Ryu.
Who votes aye?
Representative Ryu votes aye. Representative Springer.
Aye.
Representative Springer votes aye. Representative Stonier.
Aye.
Stonier votes aye. Representative Street. Representative Street votes aye. Representative Ty. Representative Ty votes aye. Representative Theringer.
Aye.
Representative Theringer votes aye.
Does any member wish to change their vote? Ms. McCollum, will you please announce the tally?
Mr. Chair, there are 19 aye, 12 nays, 0 excused or absent.
By your vote, second substitute House Bill 1399 is reported out of committee with a do pass recommendation.